Hello everybody, I'm some Loudmouth on the internet with an opinion. And welcome to part 2 of my 12-part series reviewing Gargoyles The Goliath Chronicles. And today we will be reviewing an episode that once again tries to say something deep and meaningful, but which also doesn't have the wit or puts in the effort to actually do those themes any kind of justice. This is my review of Gargoyles The Goliath Chronicles Episode 3, Runaways. We open with Goliath moralizing about something again.
Our clans give our lives structure and meaning in a chaotic world. But there are times when every gargoyle finds himself at odds with his clan. How he resolves his struggle and how the clan members aid him in his quest determines whether this cherished bond will heal or be lost forever.
Whatever. If I had Keith David's voice, I'd like to hear myself talk too. We start with the gargoyles doing their job protecting the city while Batman is on vacation. But Brooklyn isn't paying attention to his job because, well, Brooklyn's horny.
Oh, they're lovely.
They can't compare with you, Angela.
Oh, Brooklyn.
Just go to DeviantArt, Brooklyn. I'm sure somebody there posted gargoyle porn.
Are you?
Huh? Oh, yeah, right here.
Brooklyn's daydreaming causes the van to get away, and Goliath isn't happy that his second-in-command fucked up.
I lost them. They were too far ahead of me.
What were you doing when I called? We had them.
Hey, I thought I saw something, okay? I was only away a few seconds.
Well, I guess that sounds a little bit better than I was daydreaming about banging your daughter.
This theft ring isn't a game, Brooklyn. These madmen kill people. Every day they are on the street, someone else could die.
I don't need the lecture. Stop treating me like a hatchling.
I will, when you stop acting like one.
Brooklyn heads back to the castle and finds that once again his best friend has successfully cockblocked him.
Broadway. How sweet.
And she didn't see him standing right in front of her. You know, I know he's supposed to feel like he's invisible to her, but shouldn't be quite so literal. Feeling lonely and rejected, Brooklyn leaves to go hang out in the streets. Don't worry, Brooklyn, there's plenty of fish in the sea. I mean, it's not like Angela is the only female gargoyle in thousands of miles or anything like that. Ah, shit, it does suck to be you. He follows a kid delivering a mysterious package in the middle of the night to an alleyway, where they discuss the mess they have gotten their young lives into.
Give me a break. Did you get the package to radar?
He says he's being watched. We should wait for his all clear before we try to see him again.
I don't like being on the streets without protection.
You should have thought about that before you ran away from home.
Until someone tries to steal what little they got.
Give us all you got.
Predictably, Brooklyn comes in and thwarts the thieves, and he makes friends with the kids.
You helped me before.
Yes.
Whoa, man, he talks. What's your name? Can you fly?
I'm Brooklyn. And no, I glide.
A lot of times, things were bad. Dad was always yelling at us for messing up, and Mom, she was never around.
Yeah, I understand.
Brooklyn apparently decides to trust these kids he just met so much that he apparently turns to stone in the alley, requiring them to move him to a safe place while he's a stone statue.
What's the rush?
A deal's a deal. We keep him safe during the day, and he watches out for us at night.
And why the flying fuck didn't Brooklyn find a safe place to hide before he turned to stone, instead of turning to stone in the alley and having the kids move his unconscious stone body? Later, two of Radar's goons walk up to them while they are loading Stone Brooklyn and apparently want a gargoyle.
You grubby little mutts. Radar won't like it if he finds out you're holding out on him.
Yeah, those flying monkeys are worth a mint.
What do you mean?
Oh, haven't you heard? There's collectors who'll pay $1 million for one.
How did they not see that the kids were moving a statue right in front of them? Why does everybody have either selective memories or selective sight? Predictably, Kenny sells them out, which leads to Radar's goons finding out where Brooklyn is, which results in Brooklyn being captured. The kids run away from the scene and coincidentally run into Goliath and Angela, who, of course, quickly move to rescue their friend.
You were so eager to acquire, but you'll have to do better than your original offer.
Unless he's still weakened by the drugs, which I guess is a possibility, there's really no reason Brooklyn shouldn't be able to break out of those chains. We have seen several times on the show that gargoyles are more than strong enough to do so. And this ultimately leads to something that will become a staple of the rest of Gargoyles The Goliath Chronicles. A poorly animated gunfight between people who are unable to shoot a weapon worth a shit. Even the stormtroopers in Star Wars would laugh at these assholes. The worst moment being this one guy when the guy has Angela in his sight, but then for some reason decides to pull the gun back when Goliath steps in front of him.
You shouldn't play with guns.
No, Goliath would be fucking dead there, because scaring a guy who's got a loaded gun pointed at you would probably trigger him to fire it 12 times.
Normally I'm more careful with my merchandise, but I should make enough after 3 of you to retire in luxury. The buyers did say, dead or alive.
And who is the buyer? Demona? The Pack? The Quarrymen? It never explains, and no future episode ever follows up on it. If this were the previous 2 seasons, a line like that would have been setting up the reveal in a later episode. But with the Goliath Chronicles, things like that are just brought up and then later totally forgotten. So Radar is defeated in a rather predictable fashion, never to be seen again like most Goliath Chronicles villains, and Kenny makes a run for it, taking Bobby hostage in what's supposed to be a tense moment. Brooklyn tries to convince him to do the right thing.
Come on, Kenny. No way, monkey boy! You're the only family Bobby and Dave have out here. They depended on you and you let them down. You still have time to do the right thing.
But that little speech didn't serve any purpose because Bobby ends up just getting tackled anyway from behind by a... Remember, kids, tackling someone is always a much better solution than ever teaching them to do the right thing. So Elisa throws the book at Kenny and what's her name and who's his face. Debate on whether they should go back to their parents.
So scared I'd never see you again.
Don't you think your parents feel the same way about you?
No, they couldn't.
You know, Bobby, I've realized that those who are the hardest on you can often be the ones who care for you the most.
Yeah, that seems like a really bad message, actually, if you really think about it. What if a kid who was in a genuinely abusive situation watches this episode and takes that to heart? That could delay the time that they take to get help. I mean, these kids did decide to live on the streets instead of staying at their home for a reason. Brooklyn probably should have taken that fact to heart. But the kids do decide to reunite with their parents, and everyone learns some kind of message about loving your family, and blah, 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 episode over. So that was Runaways, and I guess it wasn't that bad, but it ain't any good either. I found this episode just dull, with weak animation, child characters you don't care about like you should. But on the other hand, there's nothing in it that betrays any characters or does anything majorly bad, so it's alright, I guess. But when you consider Wiseman's far, far more interesting plans for Brooklyn, it is an absolute shame that this incredibly boring episode is what they decided to feature him in. Well, at least the next episode will definitely be a bit more lively. Stay tuned to see it. I'm some Loudmouth on the internet, and you just heard my opinion. Special thanks to the Dark Conservatarian, Connor Johnson, and my other awesome patrons.